Good day to you. I want to talk to you about sleep. The reason being, I get many queries from people who have disturbed sleep. Some are, of course, aging people, but there are other parents who are worried about the future of their children, especially when they are passing 18 and 20, they want to go for greener pastures. How do parents provide? What will happen to family line, wealth, estates, and so on? I have done this topic about digitized kids when they are sleep disturbed, how to recover. So that's a separate subject about digitized kids and recovering sleep. I am Dr. Lalith Mendis. My last academic post, official academic post, was as head of Department of Pharmacology in a state medical faculty. If you need clips on how to get kids back into normal sleep order, please send me a WhatsApp to 076-313-4800, 076-313-4800. But today's talk is about adults having a sound sleep. So I need to say that the talk about sleep has to begin with early morning. How to begin your day. Begin your day with sunrise, early sunrise if possible. If you can begin the day at about 5:30 in the morning, it is good, so you catch the early sun rays, and then your melatonin goes down and your sleep-awake system comes into rhythm normally. If you get late to wake up, you get up with a jerk, and then what happens is early morning your adrenocortical system, stress system is already upset. So try to get up earlier in the morning with enough time for your morning chores, that you are not rushed looking for your belt, looking for your brush, looking for your razor. Quieten down your morning. So about morning, the advice is keep that early morning sense of peace as long as possible. At that point, I have to tell you, if night sleep was disturbed for whatever reason, early morning would not be quiet and peaceable. You will wake up a grumpy man. If you have been watching too much television, especially with 4K, 8K kind of television, or playing with your laptop, this I will do later for what you should do before going to sleep. But I am talking to you about the early morning. To keep the early morning sense of peace, happiness, quietness, shalom, early morning, keep it as much as possible. And if you are the praying kind, of course, singing kind, you do so also in the early morning, so that hopefully you will leave for work in the same poise and peace that you woke up. That's the idea. So keep your early, otherwise your adrenocortical system and the growth hormone insulin system will react and start discharging as if you are under stress early morning. So even what you had, the stress you had the day before, try not to bring it down, bring through the night to the early morning. So that's about early morning. Now from there I want to switch to when you get up early, and if you have had a fairly stressful, or shall I say challenging, first 5 hours, let's say from 5 o'clock to 10 in the morning, you will get a sort of a serotonin low feeling. What you can do then, take some fruit at 10 o'clock, and of course for breakfast, more fruit, crunchy fruit you take, oranges, pineapple, guava, more crunchy fruit you take, papaya is fine, more serotonin gets made, and you know, bigger fruit has L-tryptophan, which makes serotonin, so that feeling of drowsiness that you get is a low serotonin feeling. And what you should do is just quickly, even in your office chair, just doze off for 5 minutes, not for long, you know. Recognize that feeling of drowsiness so that you get ready for a good night of sleep through the day. That's the principle. Then you go through the day like that. When you come to 2 or 2:30 in the afternoon, after lunchtime, try to get a 15-minute of stress ease at lunchtime. That's important, just after lunchtime. You can do this in office, and if you are a CEO, it's easily done. If you are a junior person, it's not so easy. Try to keep a chair, lounging kind of chair in your cubicle, so that you can stretch out your legs and become horizontal as much as possible. Lounge back, put your legs up even on another chair, and try to have about 10 to 15 minutes minimally, 20 minutes maximally, a stretch out time. Then you bring down the adrenocortical axis to morning levels as much as possible. Some people call it power nap. Actually what it means is you reduce your stress tone, adrenergic tone, to morning levels as much as possible. It's good for your blood pressure, it's good for your sleeping patterns, keeping stress low. Now I want to get on to a slide of the brain. Now this slide of the brain explains how you ought to operate always in the top-down mode of executive, empathic, responding modus in your brain. So that's the way we must live always, thinking through initiation, navigation, successful completion. Keeping the reward motive through the day gets the right neurochemistry mix in your brain. I'll repeat it. Keeping your sense of reward. So when you are working, you must tell yourself, I work for my own good, for my family's good. If you are a God believer, you can say with God's help, God's grace. that can relieve stress, because in COVID times, everybody, the stress, bottom lines, top lines, and then performance, commissions, all these are at risk and difficult. But you have to tell yourself, I am working for a reward for my family and for my sake also. So keep that sense of reward every hour. So initiation, navigation, successful conclusion of the work you are doing, marketing or whatever, doctor or lawyer or whatever, chairman even, sense of reward. If you go on saying, hi you, and start grumbling about the work you are doing, you are building up all the wrong neuronal patterns and all the wrong neurochemistry, so that you won't get your needed sleep by the end of the day. You will feel exhausted before the day is done, which must not happen. So 2:30 is an important time, that after lunch, the neurochemistry begins to adjust and the chemicals begin to circulate. So get ready for a good, obey your serotonin is the thing. Don't get your dopamine up, then your sleep departs and stress begins to work. So work within a 45-minute cycle of initiation, navigation, good reward. Now this brain graphic you see is top-down regulation, thinking from here. But if you get into the stress mode, what happens is you go bottom-up regulation. The last hour's bad feelings, hard feelings begin to come on you. Then you can go through the whole day trying to recover but not recovering. So you set yourself up for a bad sleep. So at midday, at 2:30, do your best to get your GABA aminobutyric acid, that is the empathy neurochemical transmitter. Oxytocin is the communication neurochemical transmitter. So always communicate in a way with your juniors or with your colleagues or even with your seniors that you get an oxytocin response and not a nasty response. Moment you create nastiness, you propagate nastiness. And if you are the senior, this is very important. When you have to say sorry, please say sorry and get the GABA empathic neurochemistry, oxytocin communication neurochemistry, and serotonin, the satisfactory, satiation. I did it well. Even after a board meeting, even if you are the chairman, that you have done it well for others. Be the benefactor. So your sleep patterns rotate between how well oxytocin, GABA and serotonin did compared to dopamine, adrenocortical, adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisol stress, that is, work involves stress. Not unnecessary stress, but there is a stress going on. Now I am looking at the two curves, dopamine curve and serotonin curve. Every 45 minutes, dopamine works to salience, focus, do, achieve targets, that's fine. Then after 45 minutes, let it down, and then serotonin looks back and says, that was good, that needs improvement. So your language is improvement, and your language is not that idiot has not done this. Don't ever think that language, not even voice it, not even thinking. Because you are the senior and you are working for improvement and the best performance of others. And you say, I can help in this, I am a benefactor. So God gave you a benefactor's table, your place, position, your proportion. It is a gift of God. I have to bring God into this, though this is a scientific talk. It's a gift of God. So as the senior placed there, you are to be the beneficiary, or you are the benefactor for all those who are at your table who are junior to you. So you create the rhythm, you create the poise, you create the momentum, and you can ask God for help on that. Subject may be very technical, but human beings are human beings. So this is about creating that rhythm and poise that for your sake and for others' sake, of course, that you keep dopamine in the place of dopamine doing work, but then serotonin takes over satiety, check back, did I do that well? So this is the working cycle that you must have. Now we come to evening time, when it is 5:36, you have to somehow get a bit of sunset, see real sunset. Now if you are in office, the whole day lit by LED lights, then you are asking for sleep trouble. And at 6 o'clock, if you go to a gym, which is LED light lit up, you are asking for sleep trouble. My suggestion is 6 o'clock is not the time for hard exercise. It's okay for a quiet walk, even a rapid walk, watching sunset. If you are by the sea, that's wonderful. So get as much as possible of sunset change. That sets your melatonin, the sleep hormone, into good mood or into a good uprise. From 6 p.m., melatonin is working. So more LED lights you have on your screen, on your smartphone, in your home, after 6 p.m., less the melatonin gets into place. So now we are shifting from generally the day, I'll do a little recap afterwards, the sunset, getting maximum of the sunset, observing it, sets your melatonin up. Melatonin is incidentally also the sleep hormone, memory hormone, and immunity hormone. Immunity ramps up through the night with melatonin acting properly. So to get that evening transition to night time with proper melatonin levels picking up is a very important thing for health, particularly with COVID surrounding us here and there. Now let me get to that last bit of falling asleep, very technical advice. Catch first yawn sleep. So as you are getting the first yawns, consider it an indication for sleep, and then it must not be before 10 p.m. What will happen is, if you are exhausted through the day, you are yawning all the time, you miss the trigger for sleep. Yawn is a trigger for sleep. Yawn must not be a trigger coming out of stress or exhaustion. That's why I said break the day at 2:30. That's the time to break the day. Agree with your serotonin. Put your dopamine and cortisol down. Take that 20-minute window fully stretched out, even on a lounging chair, some kind of thing, and put your legs up. If you are a senior at work, you might be able to find this. You might be vigorous, you might be dynamic, but take a window so that you preserve without getting exhausted before time. You have to go to sleep without exhaustion, because when you are exhausted, your adrenaline is high, cortisol is high, you want to sleep, but your body is fighting, you can't get to sleep. That's the problem. The moment you are exhausted, you are living out the bottom-up thing of stress, can't do, I didn't do that properly, that fellow didn't do that properly. I showed you that brain graphic. We must always be top-down, innovative regulation, responding. Moment you go bottom-up, living from the amygdala and the hypothalamus, you are reacting. And always when you start reacting, the worst things of the day come up. Worst thing about the person comes up, and you come home and you're miserable, children are miserable, spouse is miserable, and everything is wrong. So moment you come home, dad or mom, smartphone is off for 2 hours. What do you think about that? Moment you come home, smartphone is off for 2 hours. That sounds cataclysmic, isn't it? But that's the way to go. Let your kids have you, and they prepare you with their oxytocin, with their empathy, hugs and cuddles. They prepare you for sleep. At least for sleep's sake and health's sake, have a good family hour at 7 p.m. Very important, happy family hour at 7 p.m. Not in a hotel, at home. Yeah, that's the best place to get ready for sleep. So catch first yawn of sleep. Try not to sleep before 10 p.m. That's point number 1. Now this is a very practical lecture. I hope to follow it up with more technical stuff, but this is for everybody to get an easy understanding of having your good night's sleep. Yes, and I will have these technical articles up on my blog, Dr.Lalith Mendis, WordPress.com. You can have it from, if you send a WhatsApp to my WhatsApp number 076 313 4800. I can send you the necessary clips for you or children's sleep and getting yourself digitally detoxed. I can send you that. Second one, reduce LED lights in the house generally, especially in the bedroom. Better not to have LED lights in the bedroom, certainly not in the washroom. And they say orange light in the washroom is the most sleep-friendly color frequency is orange. Then don't get up in the night and check your WhatsApp. You disturb your sleep. If you get up in the night to go to the washroom, just get back, sleep catches on, and if you are dreaming, you will catch on with the dream and the dream will also go off. So don't disturb your night sleep. Yes. Then sleeping tablets will not give you normal sleep. So this talk is about doing good sleep without sleeping tablets. People think popping a sleeping tablet in the mouth will solve the problem. It does not. Your good sleep will have NREM sleep and REM sleep, rapid eye movement and non-rapid eye movement. It is during the rapid eye movement time you have dreams. So you start dreams at about 1 o'clock in the night, which means you must fall asleep by 11 in the night. And then in that REM sleep time, you see the dreams. Initially, it'll be a little disturbed sleep, a bit of a anger thing you're working out. And you go through about 3 to 4 sleep cycles, REM and NREM. Each sleep cycle is about 20 minutes. And then you wake up in the morning feeling pleasant and happy and remembering a happy dream. That is a good sign of good sound sleep, is that you are remembering a happy dream. If you remember a bad dream, that means your sleep was not normal. Yes. So this is about getting your physiological deep sleep pattern. Good sleep wakes up with good dreams. 4. Do not check your smartphone when you awake in the night. 5. Before falling asleep, some people find a warm cup of milk before bed brings you a childhood memory of good sleep. So you have to have your conflicts settle down before going to bed. And one scripture verse says, let not your wrath go down with the day, which means those wrath things, angry things, bitter things, please settle it before bedtime, hopefully before dinner time, because I have done a full post on keeping the dinner time a happy meal time. That is important. It should be part of this talk also. Basically, every meal time is kids' time. They must have equal access to conversation. So you don't start examining their mathematics, criticizing their teachers or your boss. Meal time must be fully owned time by kids. It's oxytocin time, the best time to develop good habits and good sleep. So maximize your meal time, especially the dinner time, as the best family time. Your children will remember forever and ever, and they will want to take you out for dinner often when you're older and they're earning, because they remember dinner times as the best time they had dad and mom. Okay? Of course, the milk will supply you vitamin D and calcium as well. Then the sixth point I have here is, it's true for any time of the day, some foodstuffs have more melatonin. Almond, lettuce, fatty fish, high in melatonin. So if you don't disturb your natural melatonin, your retina responds, and your brain has a dreamweaver program where there are glial cells which has a glymphatic system during the proper sleep time when melatonin is working. You know, the lymphatic system is for immunity in the rest of the body. Glymphatic, G-L-Y-M-P-H, glymphatic system is where glial cells move all over the brain and remove excess neurochemicals, attend on the axons and neurons, and make it good and well furbished to get up in the morning for a new day. So that's what melatonin does, and melatonin works in the retina also. Everywhere there are things called chromaffin cells, so melatonin works. And our chromaffin cells are found in the breast, in the testes, in the uterus, in the ovaries. So sleep is very important to keep a healthy sexual organ system. It's melatonin related. Chromaffin cells are governed by melatonin. If you have your sleep disturbed with immorality or some other thing, as far as the uterus is concerned, there's a 4 times higher incidence of uterine cancer. This is true about abortion also. If you abort your first baby, the incidence of cancer of the reproductive system is greater, and that research study was done in Sri Lanka. Notable milestone study in research done in Sri Lanka. But today we are on the point of good sleep, good melatonin looks after your chromaffin system, which chromaffin cells are found in the reproductive organs. If you don't get good sleep, as I told you, because of raucous living, immoral living, breaking rest all the time, you will get health problems where those cells are. Just remember that, that's a little technical subject. Having a diet rich in melatonin is helpful, but it is far more important to keep your physiological patterns and behaviors and character intact so that your melatonin works well. Then fruit in the night is helpful. Fruit adds to the serotonin thing. Warm bath before sleeping is helpful. This is about immediately going to sleep. Then whirring sound of the fan helps sleep. Then a good temperature, good mattress, feeling cozy, you know, and having family pictures hung around your wall, and an atmosphere of coziness, cuddledness, all help towards sleep. Reading an enjoyable book in the night, not reading out of laptops, LED screen, but real print reading helps to form sleep. Now that's about falling asleep time. Then of course shut TV or pixel screen hopefully 2 hours before the sleep. More pixel screen you're on, more sleep disturbed you will become. Now some people may go through the pixel screen for office work or whatever and go to sound sleep easily, but you need to remember this. You may ask me, what about night mode on the LED screen? Maybe, but better to keep your sleep intact. Avoid caffeine, I would say any time of the day. Shut TV or pixel screen. Don't have, then there will be some repetition. Point number 13, observe sunrise and sunset. I have already told you that. Those diurnal rhythms, adjust your bioclocks, the circadian rhythm, and how the adrenal cortical axis comes up and quietens down by 6 in the evening. All this helps towards that. Then add vegetable and fruit to diet. Never drink coffee on an empty stomach. It promotes diabetes. Then for those who are more sedentary and not going to work, You must maintain an hourly timetable, write the timetable out, plan your day, and don't allow the day to drift with doing nothing. So those who are on pension, retired, not very mobile, please make sure you have a timetable. You can write it down yourself. Every hour, roughly, you know what you do from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You don't have to be strict about it, but you are not a layabout. The layabout feeling and exhaustion comes and you won't sleep well. And you don't sleep during the day more than 30 minutes unless you have a disease and some drugs are causing sleep. Don't sleep more than 30 minutes in the afternoon. I told you at between 2 and 3 to have a good quiet window where you get your adrenal cortical axis to normal, but not too much sleep to the extent your night sleep is disturbed. Then write down enjoyable things to do, hobbies, family activity. Getting involved with grandchildren is an excellent tonic for sleep. So if you have grandchildren living with you, wonderful. They are far better than sleeping tablets, yes. Get involved with them, help them with their studies, play some board games with them, then that will save them from their digital addiction. So it's a win-win process. Yes, journal your thoughts as much as possible. Don't give up your writing habit. If you write 4 A4 papers, 4 pages, in 2 languages, you prevent Alzheimer. I repeat it. I have a different clip for Alzheimer. If you need that clip, just send a WhatsApp to 0763134800. And when this clip is ready, please send it to your friends. So if you write in 2 languages, 4 A4 pages, every day you prevent Alzheimer, improve your sleep. So this writing thing and concentration during the day has an effect on putting you to sleep in the night. Idle mind keeps you awake also. That's the problem. So keep your mind well occupied, activating the executive empathic initiation navigation pathway, which helps you sleep, which prevents you getting into the bottom-up regulation of just regurgitating rubbish and gossip, how bad this is, how good old days were. So stop that, please. Yes. Journal your thoughts. 19, walk up and down every 2 hours, preferably on a choir mat or in the garden. So this, the sole of your feet, feeling friction is a good exercise for the brain. 20, a bout of vigorous activity before sunset at 5 p.m. outdoor, seeing sunset, gardening, aquarium, playing with grandchildren, or you yourself doing something, you know, is a good thing. Walk down the garden or walk down the road. Those activities are helpful. Besides being heart healthy, it is sleep healthy activity. Then if you, where you sit, if you keep a choir mat and barefooted you keep scratching it while you're on your book reading or whatever it is. So this choir mat, this Lanu Padura, and its little pimples like things that's rubbing on your soul has a good effect on the brain. That's a deep touch sense on the brain. Then use tweezers on your hand for 4 minutes, or, you know, something like this. And if you can get to art or that kind of work is also good. So any intentional relaxational activity is good. Leisure activity, intentional. So you should have every day something like that happening. That helps you to go to sleep. Play classical music, but you playing an instrument is excellent. Songs like Amazing Grace, but not the jazzy ones. And don't get used to keeping earphones in your ears all the time. That doesn't produce good sleep. In fact, it will work against good sleep. So too much film time also works against good sleep. You have to remember that. So much and no more. You can't become a couch potato on television all day. 25, never use 4K or 8K TV. Cut down TV time. Avoid alcohol because it removes sleep from you. Avoid large starch meals and avoid sugar drinks. Avoid cola. These are health habits, good health habits anyway, especially important if you have a disturbed sleep pattern. So remember, early morning, graceful wake up, 2:30, taking that window and removing sense of exhaustion. So don't go on feeling exhausted 4, 5, 6. You're assured to have a bad sleep. So get that sense of exhaustion. Plan, prioritize, pace out. Especially after COVID, there are a lot of sleep disturbances. There are a few things that sometimes it involves an immune inflammation of some of the neuroglia also. So I have been recommending a rasam or a tambung hodi made with usual cumin, also black cumin, kaluduru, Nigella sativum. They have that concoction, which you can prepare at home, have a way of attending on a disturbed immune inflammation in different tissues of your body after COVID. I have a full clip on this, can make it available if you send a WhatsApp number. I have an app called Golden Nuggets. If you download that app, Golden Nuggets, I am Dr. Lalith Mendis. You can have a lot of my scientific talks available on it. It's available free of charge, App Store and Google Store. Finally, I have to tell you that good sleep is a good gift of the Good Shepherd. So much of sleep has spiritual qualities. So this I should have mentioned before. See that anxiety comes from when your demand for you is greater than your supply. So you have to do two things: reduce the demand during an hour, increase the supply of grace. And in this, the Good Shepherd can help you really, because he promises, I will lead you through green pastures, I will lead you through still waters, so that gives a real nice feeling of sleep. I will lead you up straight and righteous path, no crooked places, no boulders, no stumbling down. I will anoint your head with oil, that's a very nice thing to happen. And then I will prepare your cup, it will be running over, enough for the day and enough and more. And then I will prepare your table, even in the face of adversities. That table is your proportion of life, your place and your players, family members and others. So good to have good friendships that are long-lasting. Marriage has to be long-lasting, that's the definition of marriage. So so try the Good Shepherd also, give him a chance in your life, because sleep is not just a physical activity. So much happens during sleep, and those good dreams, ending up with good dreams, and your brain health maintained, your spiritual health taken care of. So that's the promise that the Good Shepherd has for you. So thank you for listening. My next talk on sleep will be more technical. Look out for it, and look out for some of the articles. And if you send me that WhatsApp, I can send you some of the clips and the articles. Thank you for listening.